Genesis is a complex character, and his backstory is rather tragic. While he made some pretty terrible decisions throughout Crisis Core, one can't help but feel a little sorry for him at the same time. You wonder if he ever really had a chance once he found out the truth behind his birth and upbringing. Either way, he seems to steal the show in nearly every scene he's in, which is a hard thing to do when you have such a cool character as Sephiroth involved. Hey there, Keifi here, and today I'm going to discuss Genesis's role in the future of the Remake series. Now, there will be some spoilers from the recent remaster, so if you played Reunion, or the original, or are down for that, then let's jump right into it.
Even if the morrow is barren of promises, nothing shall forestall my return.
This iconic line from the play Loveless also has a double meaning. Some way, somehow, Genesis will return. After all, we never actually saw him die. Quite the contrary. When Lazard passed away, it was made pretty clear to the viewer that he was gone. He joined the livestream and that was the end of him. But the same cannot be said for Genesis. When this game debuted way back on the PSP, they left an opening for his return. One they did not really touch upon until Dirge of Cerberus' secret ending. And now that they have the Remake series, it seems pretty likely we could see him return much sooner. Especially since the two characters who came across his body were none other than Nero and Vice, even though their faces are half concealed at the time. So now that the two have been introduced much sooner, we already know they have Genesis somewhere. So he's being held captive, unconscious, or he could be working for them. But either way, we saw them fly off with Genesis in their helicopter. Which really begs the question, where is Genesis right now? At this point, after the first Remake game. Genesis was in pretty rough condition when we last saw him. The degradation had taken a huge toll on him by the end of Crisis Core. So, naturally the question arises, how does he continue to survive when he was so weak? And I think the answer is stasis. Shinra scientists have already proven time and time again to be incredibly intellectual, albeit quite crazy. And stasis is already something we've been introduced to before in the series. So, I really don't think it's too crazy to assume Nero and Vice would put Genesis there until they found a definitive cure. After all, they planned on making him their brother. So, it wouldn't make much sense for them to collect his body and then continue to let him degrade. And Genesis may not even have to worry about his degradation anymore, because at the end of the game, it seemed as though the goddess had healed him, cured him, of his ailment. So don't be surprised if we end up seeing Genesis return in Rebirth, although probably closer to near the end of the game, or maybe even in a subsequent DLC, similar to Integrate. Since Nero and Vice are now running around creating havoc much earlier than before, and since the Whispers now also appear to be defeated, things will play out much differently. Perhaps we could see an eventual rematch between Sephiroth and Genesis. Now that would be absolutely iconic. My name is Keifi, and I'm curious as to what your thoughts are on the return of Genesis in the upcoming sequel, Final Fantasy VII Rebirth. And if he did return, would he still be a nemesis? Or do you think he's been redeemed by the end of Crisis Core? Either way, if you feel up to it today, maybe hit like and subscribe. But even more importantly, I hope you have yourself a good day. May your heart be your guiding key, my friends. And as always, happy gaming.